With what's been happening lately in the crypto space, I thought I'd make a video sharing my thoughts on what I think this all means moving forward. Please don't mind the quality as I'm trying to publish this video sooner than later as it's a somewhat time sensitive matter. So I found an article that briefly summarizes what has happened and highlighted the main parts. If you're interested in the article, I'll leave a link in the video description. So this article here is a tale of two banks, why Silvergate and Silicon Valley Bank collapsed. Now if we go down over here, I've highlighted it over here and it says Silvergate Capital, a holding company for a bank that since 2016 had bet big on servicing the emerging crypto economy, announced Thursday that it will wind down bank operations. Silicon Valley Bank, which has played a similar role managing money for venture capital funded startups, was shut down by state regulators Friday. In broad strokes, both banks were undone by the same challenge: classic bank runs. Their erstwhile customers, whether crypto exchanges or tech startups, are facing broad business challenges thanks in part to economic and financial conditions. That has led to declining deposits and rising cash withdrawals at a time when a lot of banks' long-dated non-cash holdings were also being battered by the markets. That meant when cash demands got high enough, Silvergate and Silicon Valley Bank had to sell those backing assets at substantial losses. Silvergate announced a $1 billion loss on the sale of assets in the fourth quarter of last year, while Silicon Valley Bank, with a larger overall balance sheet, also lost $1.8 billion while liquidating assets. In both cases, importantly, US Treasury bonds made up large portions of the money losing liquidations. So basically, two major banks are now out of the crypto space. Because of this, Circle, which is the company behind USDC, has come forth and has stated that they have an unspecified amount of exposure in these banks. This has caused a depegging of 1 USDC to 1 USD. With that said, this makes you wonder just how exposed some crypto exchanges are to USDC. While these crypto exchanges may not have direct exposure to either Silvergate or Silicon Valley Bank, if they carry USDC, that's still a part of the contagion. That said, you need to ask yourself this: if USDC goes to zero, which may not be likely, but there's a chance that it does regardless of how big or small that chance is, would these exchanges have enough funds to cover that loss? If they don't have enough to cover that loss, they may secretly use your coins to cover that loss temporarily. Now, if enough people are scared about this and want to withdraw their coins simultaneously, that can cause a crypto run on the exchange, and thus you don't have access to your coins if they halt withdrawals. As the saying goes, not your keys, not your coins. Given the uncertain nature of how this is all playing out, I personally have withdrawn all my funds back into my wallets and bank accounts. Moving forward, after seeing even USDC depeg, I personally would be skeptical about using any stablecoin that's out there. If you do decide to have stablecoins as a part of your portfolio because you want to trade, do take into consideration the risk of it depegging. If USDC can depeg, I'm pretty sure that other stablecoins out there can also depeg. That said, I'm now looking at which Canadian exchange or platform would be the best option for Canadians to trade on with Canadian dollars. By trading exclusively in Canadian dollars, there are several benefits. The first is that there's no risk of a depegging. The second is that you don't run the risk of currency fluctuation. For example, you buy stables when the Canadian dollar is weak, but then you sell it when the Canadian dollar is strong. The next would be the ease of funding. There's no need to buy whichever coin to send to whichever exchange to fund them. Lastly, it'll be much easier to calculate your taxes if everything is in Canadian dollars. Now, these benefits don't come without costs. The first is that Canadian exchanges and platforms aren't really equipped for trading on. They don't have the same available tools, trade features, and liquidity as major exchanges have. In addition, they're more expensive to trade on. At the end of the day, you'll need to figure out for yourself what risk and costs you're willing to take on. When I have a better idea on this, I'll make another video on it. Thanks for watching and stay safe out there.